Mom,
I'm eating.
what are you eating? Oh my god, I feel like, am I zoomed in?
I know, you can zoom in and zoom out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is good because then you don't see my little mess in the back. Do I have a mess in the back?
No.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
because I feel like, but it's like my little.
Look at my nails.
Okay. All right, I can see myself. Okay, Mom, you like the lashes now? Because
Mm-hmm.
you're acne.
The lashes look good. I was wondering. I'm like, did she forget?
No, I didn't forget. I just felt like, so I thought we were gonna go on earlier, and I'm like, I kind of don't mind like doing my makeup while we speak, but then like it took this long that I finished, and then I was like, you know what?
I
Let me
know.
make a
I'm
coffee.
sorry.
Let me this. Let me that. Like on my iced coffee, I went to get a refill.
Oh wow! I want a refill. Look.
It's like a beer coffee. It's like a white, like a Russian coffee. I mean, no, what is it?
That looks like a root beer float. Honestly.
An Irish. It's an Irish coffee. It's an Irish coffee, but I have Bailey's.
Mm.
It's real good.
So I wish you were here. This is the cutest little place.
I know, it's so
Adorable.
cute.
You want to see my little view
I
from
went
right
to a
here?
spa. Wait, don't move. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Don't move because then the service is gonna get disrupted. Please.
Mine is clear.
I don't know why
So
mine is. Yeah, speak.
I'm making this so that it's not like live right now, but like to post it at a later time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's live right
Wait,
now, but
what?
we're live. But when it's saved and we're done, it's not going to go like public. It's going to be posted later. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
But
I see what you mean.
yeah, so I had a horrible night because the baby was just like she had a hive breakout, and I am gonna have like a meltdown at some point. But I didn't really get that much sleep, and then this morning, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, how am I gonna do this?" So I canceled my therapy session because I
Wait,
was
so
like,
where did they?
"Hmm."
Wait, you're breaking up. You're coming up. Did you get the Wi-Fi
I
password?
can, yeah, I can hear you just fine. I think it's your connection, honestly.
Huh?
I think it's your connection.
You're breaking up. It's breaking. The connection is breaking up.
Do you want to try a different platform?
Like you're frozen right now. Can you see me?
Mm-hmm. You're clear. I can hear you.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
This is so weird. Now I took myself off Wi-Fi and now I can see you fine.
Maybe your Wi-Fi is like messed up.
That is so weird. But it's like a hotspot. That is
Your
so
hotspot
annoying.
is not hot, girl.
What? But it's like it's a valid one. It's T-Mobile.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be good.
Yeah, it's supposed and it's supposed to be good. It's fine. All right. So, what did you want to talk about? I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous.
Oh, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I want to talk about what we were talking about yesterday about health and fitness and how some people are not. I remember you said something about how people are not ready to admit they have issues with food.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, now you're freezing again. Cause and then it was like I feel like I've been looking bloated. Like today I woke up and I was like, oh my god, no. So remember yesterday I made a tea. I told you I was making a tea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I made the ballerina tea. So I was like, let me make a ballerina tea. 'Cause usually those are like if you're water, they kind of like I'm not gonna lie, kind of like hydrate cells of water, and like they
They
said
flush
the
you out.
bathroom, like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they flush you out. But I feel like maybe because I haven't been eating like crazy, there's nothing to flush out. Because I remember there was like a week where I started doing the tea, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. Like I'm seeing like the flushing out. And then after like maybe like 2 days, it stopped. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just wait till next week and do it. And I was eating tea for like the span of like 6 days, and then I did the tea, and nothing happened. So I'm like, is it that that's
Really?
happening?
Nothing at all? Maybe you should try 2 tea bags.
No. And then I did three, bitch. so, so when so this on the, remember I told you there was like a time frame where I was like, you know what, let me not do it. And then I waited like a few days, but I still kept eating clean. I was like, let me do three. Cause one of my coworkers, like how before carnival, she's Caribbean. She's like, before carnival, girl, the girls, we do three teas. Like she was telling me this strategy. The girls get ready for carnival to get like to do like this
So,
fat loss.
yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they kind of dehydrate. She's like, that's why some of us really get fucked up and drunk because we start drinking alcohol, and then we were like,
On
we're like,
empty stomachs.
yeah, right. So I'm like, let me do three. Nothing, girl. But last night I did two. I did. Do you remember Samaya Reese from Love and Hip Hop?
No, I'd probably have to see her face.
Oh my god. So Samaya Reese, she was on Love and Hip Hop that season with Jim Jones' wifey and like or whatever.
Yes, the
She
name
was
sounds
very early
familiar.
on. All right, she was very early on, and Joe Budden was like her boyfriend, but she rebranded herself a few years after she got off the show because she just didn't like the way it portrayed her career. She rebranded her brand to This Fits Me, and she brought out her own brand of teas, which is like flat tummy tea. But I actually bought it once, and it's actually really good. So what I
Yeah.
did was I mixed that tea with a ballerina tea. So it was like two
And it
teas.
didn't
So
work?
no, I woke up like having to pee. Like I peed for a really long time, but no bowel movement. That's why I'm having the coffee so early.
I wonder if maybe,
And it's
like,
so weird because I don't have issues. It's so weird because I don't have issues to go to the bathroom. I'm very regular, but I just expected more out of me. That's so
yeah,
crazy.
me too. I'm
Like I feel like
shocked.
I'm so yeah. So I feel like I'm so bloated that I don't know. Like it's clearly not like I'm backed up with poop. It's like almost like what is it? Am I receiving so much water? You know what I mean? Like
What have you
I
been
almost feel
eating?
like mean. I feel like Mean Girls. You know when they're like, "Yeah, bitch, eat the calcium bars." Yeah, you just get bloated and then you just flush it all out. Yeah, like that's not happening.
I
But I
think
am regular, so it's fine.
you should probably get like some green juice or some greens, and then that'll probably help flush you out. Because if the tea is not working, because the that kind of tea, it like makes your stomach contract. Like I know that they have ingredients in them
No,
to like help
not.
you go, but that's wild.
Yeah,
3 of them?
yeah. No, well, no. I've had three of them. Yeah, this was like maybe like a few weeks ago where nothing happened, and I'm like, oh, I guess maybe I'm good. But I do have like I get a lot of. So they have Beatnik in Sacramento. It's like a vegan spot. It used to by Chloe. Remember when we
Oh
came to New
yeah.
York and we
See
went
by
to buy
Chloe.
Chloe?
Oh yeah, by Chloe. Yeah.
Yeah, so by Chloe, it's now called Beatnik in New York because they rebranded. They went bankrupt, but there's a specific salad there that I love. Like I have once a week, like not once a week, once a day. I have a salad. So like I'll have a salad and then I fast. Like I don't
You know
understand
what
why
though?
something
Greens, believe it or not, greens, they take a long time to digest. Like it takes a long time for our body to break it
or
down.
grains or
Greens, like eating greens, like romaine and hmm
yesterday I had like a keto sandwich, but I put like arugula and spinach. You know the arugula and spinach mix. I put
hmm
cucumbers in there.
That
Like
sounds
it's
like what I'm eating right now.
yeah, like a sandwich. Like I made like a
hmm
sandwich with the you. It looks so good. Do you do the tofurkey?
No, I don't. I've
Have you
had
done
it.
it before,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, I did that. Like I felt like it was pretty like a cute sandwich. Like why? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm not eating enough.
Maybe maybe there's just something you're missing, or maybe you're just maybe you need to clean your gut.
I don't think there's anything wrong with my gut. Like I actually don't.
Have you
Like
went since then? Like have you been? having bowel movements?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm super regular. I just expected like
Oh, you
since
were
I'm loaded,
expecting.
I expected like maybe there's some I don't know, bitch. Maybe I'm backed up. Like I don't know what it is that I feel, but I feel like I'm a little bloated. But that's what I'm saying is that I'm really so much water because this morning I got up to pee, and usually when I do the tea, like I wake up with the bubble guts where I like have to go to the
Yeah.
almost like if
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Almost like if you ate something bad, like it gives you that
That
like
stuff is intense. The first
yeah.
time, okay,
Yeah, and I haven't had that lately, and I want to feel that because
maybe
usually
you
I
need
feel skinny.
a different brand. Is your tea expired? Is
Bitch,
it
no, I
stale?
no. I think I'm gonna start doing again apple cider vinegar because we have to do that one in phases because it's super acidic.
Yeah. You want to be careful because super acidic shit is gonna like mess up your stomach for sure. Yeah.
So that's my little rant of the day. I'm like, what's going on? I was like, literally, yo. Then yesterday, the heart attack shit. I was like, yeah, no, what's going on?
Maybe you just like honestly remember I told you that like I've been having like bad dreams and shit has just been weird. I had another bad dream last night, like this morning, and I was like, what is going on? Um but honestly, I think I don't know. That's so weird. I wonder what it could be. Remember when we used to like have juices and smoothies every day and we used to eat at Chopped? We had our salads every day and then we would go to what was the juice place across the street?
Joe in the juice.
No,
Oh
the
no,
other
juice
one.
press.
Juice Press. Yeah.
Juice press.
Well,
There's juice press, juice generation,
I don't know. That's so weird.
right?
I don't remember what the name of it was, but maybe I feel like maybe you need some like. Are you taking pre and probiotics? What do you eat
No.
that's like that has anything? Do you have yogurt or anything?
What do you said?
I said, do you ever eat like yogurt? Because I know you don't eat oatmeal. You said you don't eat oatmeal. Oatmeal will definitely make you go. Like it'll soften your stool. Maybe your stool's just hard right now.
No, I don't do yogurt. I feel like people that have gut issues with gut issues, and I know I don't have them.
Okay.
No, I don't have gut issues. My friends, like I have two friends that they actually have issues, and my grandma have severe gut issues, bitch. Like she could go no lie, like fucking 3 weeks without shitting.
Oh my God, that's
And
so
she would be in
bad.
a bad mood. She was diabetic and she would be in a bad mood and like it would be so funny, like low key, and then like she'll literally she was my grandmother was wild bitch. Like I was traumatized. This lady used to make me go buy enemas for her. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where you put
And
them
I
in. Yeah, you do them by
teenager
yourself at home.
mortified. Like it was, that age where you're still embarrassed to buy pads because you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, everyone knows I have my period. Like I don't know which one was
Oh my God.
I don't know which one was worse, like having to go buy pads for myself
Or
or having
an
to go get
enema. But you know what?
my friend.
Not a lot of people know what an enema is. So,
Yeah. So,
you
but the
know?
thing is that okay, no, this was back in the day, bitch, when the box was green and it had like the graphic in the back of the box of what it was used for, and it had like, the lady all bent over like
With
this,
the
like
thing.
putting the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was like instructions were outside of the box, and it was so embarrassing. So trust me, I know what somebody with bubble guts is like. Like I know I don't have that bitch. I'm never backed up. I never like I'm regular. Like I don't have issues with like my stomach hurting all the time. Like the only time my stomach hurts is literally if I ate and I have like an argument or something and I just know I didn't chew the food right because it was just like a bad time. You know what I mean? Or like if everybody else is sick and now I'm sick too, or maybe food poisoning. But I don't have issues like that.
I don't know. You should go get your blood work done.
I am. I'm
Because
gonna get
maybe
my blood work.
you might be like low on something, you know?
Well, I'm anemic and I'm vitamin D deficient. So
Okay.
there's that.
You need to get some more sun. You need to be outside.
I know I need to be in Laguna Beach.
You need,
I
yes, you
need
do.
to be I need to be in Laguna Beach with someone's dad.
You have to get some sun. You should like make it a point to wake up in the morning and take like a 10-minute walk, just like around the block. Because the earlier you
In
go
the
on a
hood,
walk,
yeah,
I
no,
mean,
there's no sun out
just
here.
throw on your hoodie
It's
and
no sun in New York. The buildings, you try to go. The only place there is sun is by the water, because they're in the on the west side, and maybe sometimes even the east side. But yeah,
so you have no sun. I see
there's
sun right there behind you.
no sun. Yeah,
Why are
that's
you lying?
there's no sun right now. It's actually foggy in New York. But
The
what I
UV rays are better in the fog.
I'm looking I'm looking outside. It actually looks like we're in Boston or something. It looks like
It's Boston lighting.
it's literally Boston lighting. Whenever they do a show based in Boston, they have like a certain like filter for it, and like whenever they film in Chicago, it's like a dark
Oh
grayish.
yeah, like in
It looks
shows
like,
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like that outside right now. And in California, yeah, I get the fucking sunset filter.
I'm so dead.
It's true. It's so funny.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So tell me, I put out
What?
some stuff on the internet.
Wait, what?
You put out some stuff on the internet.
Oh, put up some stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. You don't want to talk about it?
Oh,
Or should we
yeah.
not?
So you listened to my podcast, right? I know
Yeah.
you had some things to say.
Yeah.
What'd you
No,
think about it?
I don't have anything to say right now because I'm gonna make my own video of it from my perspective.
Hmm.
But I just thought you were calm. You thought about that shit. Like I felt like I was listening to a fucking audible. Like, you know what I mean? Like I felt like I
Hmm.
was like you did your own fucking audible yourself. And it almost felt like people have been making fun of Meghan Markle, so like in her podcast. She's so like apparently like, reading a book. But like I don't think she's really strategic on how to speak. And I feel like you did that just fine. Like you were real calm.
Yeah. Well,
Because
I mean,
revisiting that and like saying it, yeah, it's not like
did you notice how I laughed a lot? It was like talking about it and like saying it out loud again was funny to me. And
yeah, no. And even me, I'm like,
because it sounds crazy, right? And then when you're speaking about it, you're like, wait, this really happened. Like, this was part of my life.
yeah, and there were little parts where I'm not gonna mention them right now, but there were little parts where we actually have to talk about it where I'm like, oh, she didn't mention this.
Okay.
Like there's little like spots where you don't mention certain things that like are a big deal. Um where it's like it kind of hit you where it's crazy because now it's like am I reminding you or did you just leave it out? That's why I don't want to mention it here. You get what I mean? There's like
We can, do you want to, do you not want to mention it because you're going to mention it later or you want to save it for later?
all right, I'll say one of
Okay.
them now. Like it was actually me. Okay, I don't know how your friend had found the girl. Something about her, like you saw it, and then you had there was like a hint or something about the baby daddy. And when we did our own research, aside from your friend, like during
Mm-hmm.
the coffee break, I was the one that found his LinkedIn. Remember? Like I was the one that
Maybe
actually,
was it
yeah,
you?
because you could find the baby daddy on Facebook. We were trying to find him, but you're like, girl, he doesn't have any Facebook. He doesn't have anything. Me with my like. Remember, I was like, well, I know this. Like, I know that we could find him on LinkedIn because remember I told you that's where like
That's right. I think because everything is such a blur and it all
yeah,
happened and
everything is a
everyone was like
blur. Yeah,
everyone did the digging for me. And I was kind of just like at a point where I was like, oh my God, this is great. But then it was almost kind of like I was living in someone else's
yeah.
thing that was happening to them. So I was
It's
like, okay, yeah, tell me more. What's happening?
yeah. Okay, so I remember we found the girl, whatever. We found the girl's name. For some reason, you were searching for it. Now I'm just gonna. You were searching for
We
it.
were both, yeah,
You
we could,
realized
she
that you were
blocked
blocked.
us. Yeah.
That
Hmm.
yeah, she blocked you, which is why I was just like, oh no, this is more than what Anthony is saying it is because she has blocked you. That's what
Hmm.
made me be like, no, but you need to find out. Like, that's not okay. And then a few days later, when you got with your boy that you used to work at your old company with, right?
Jason.
Jason, when you got with Jason, and Jason like found out somehow, Jason is a fucking superhero in this shit.
They had a mutual friend, yeah, and that
Yeah,
mutual friend was like his homie since like they were 5.
yeah. And then you found the baby daddy or whatever, and then
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have an email, he didn't have a social media. It's not like he had a link to an Instagram where you could instantly DM him or like even try.
Mm-mm.
Like, he had nothing. So then I'm like, we have to find his. I don't even remember how I found the guy's LinkedIn. I really don't. But I remember feeling like this has to be him. And so then I went through like his whole company page and I saw him.
I
And
think what it was, I think this is how you found it, because you know how like on those like look up the people search things, like he was
it had like
linked
a
to some of
company email.
her,
It had a
right? It was like,
Yes, it was a company email. So then I grabbed the act. Like, let's say the company was at New York Fashion Week, right? Obviously, it wasn't. I copied and pasted that company into the search bar, and I'm like, oh my god, this is him. And it was like a bunch of pictures of like seminars and like him and his coworkers, or
yeah, it was like IT.
I'm like, oh my god, he runs his own business. Like, this is
And
his.
we
And then
knew because
yeah,
his picture from the Facebook picture, they
yes, and then you
matched.
emailed his company email. So that's why it took like a few weeks. It almost seemed like, I don't know, it was just so coincidental that we expected maybe if this is really his business, because we thought it was like a left for dead LinkedIn email type of thing. Like, you know how sometimes people get out of that industry, don't pay attention to LinkedIn anymore. Like, I thought it was that. And then when you told me,
I called it. I called the company, and then he was actually there, and they put me on hold, and they were like, "Oh, can we tell him who's calling?" And then I was just like, "I'm not doing this." But then when he accepted the LinkedIn request from my friend Jason, that's when all his personal information like popped up or whatever. And so then he forwarded. I remember Jason forwarding me that information, and I was like, "Oh,
oh my God, yeah, that shit was crazy. But I just, I don't, like, I just felt like what she was saying. Also, remember, I pretended to be you in the message.
mm-hmm.
So I pretended to be you, and I was really respectful just because I felt like I couldn't be, I couldn't, we couldn't really say what we wanted to say as if we were in person. We had to play it like I had to victimize Lenée for a little
Yeah,
bit. Like, hey,
mm-hmm.
I made it seem like you already knew something. And that's the only way to get answers out of people is make it seem like you already know it. Fake it till you make it be like, I already know it. Like, this is what New York girls do. It's so funny. Like, I don't know if it's only New York girls, but like, if you're really manipulative, you're Scorpio, you want to find, you're gonna have to lie and pretend like you know it all. Like, he already told me, I just want to see if it matches up. Like, I probably could look up the messages, but I remember writing to her something really respectful, like, hey, this has came to my attention. I just want to know the truth so I know how to move forward. And I
Mm-hmm.
pretended I knew everything, and then I just needed a little bit more confirmation so then I could drop everything. And what I realized in that is that she knew more that she was alluding to and that she was lying. And then that's how we kind of put everything together, because he
Yeah,
didn't even know. It was like so weird, but I just remember
it was
wanting you
all
to
very
know because
sloppy. It
you,
was so sloppy.
yeah, it really was. And it was fucked up because I literally stayed on the phone with you, like,
Yeah, it was like 6 in the morning. Remember, you were getting ready for school that next
yeah,
morning.
I had class. I used to have class at like 10 a.m., then a break. Then I was like sleeping in school, like, call me if anything. And like, I was just checking up on you, making sure you were okay. But I just feel like you needed to know just to get everything together. You, you still don't know what exactly happened and what those calls meant. Like, for me, the only difference is that you had something that has happened to other friends that I've had very similar, where like they piece things together and they realize a bigger, something a lot bigger. Well, you ended up finding like they were communicating. Still don't know if they ever, if people ever met up or anything like that.
Yeah, I'll never know.
Um,
Nobody's gonna
yeah, like
know.
I know. So I don't think they met up. And then we ended up. Did you? Okay, so because I didn't listen to the third episode yet, do you talk about what we discover or no?
Oh yeah, the OnlyFans thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I completely forgot.
Yeah.
I was like, why did I forget to mention that? Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I mentioned that, and then I mentioned
Not me vaping.
I mentioned that, and then what else? It's funny because after I would like record, and then I would like publish. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot that. I forgot that. So for the last one, I like took notes and I like made bullet points because I was like, there's just too much to fit into like these little, time frames. Like I could go on and on and on and be like, oh yeah, that
And it's
happened. Oh yeah, this.
crazy because in the moment you're prioritizing one argument for the other. So like I wonder if had you discovered, let's just say it's weird because remember then you started telling me like a little bit more like, oh my God, that makes sense, other things
hmm
like
From other things from
like
like 2 years ago, from like the years prior.
yeah,
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 yeah.
like oh shit, like that's really when I realized
You think
like
that's why
at
I'm
first
having
I felt like
haunting? Do you think that's why
huh?
I'm having haunting dreams right now?
I don't know,
From
but I told
like
you
speaking this into
season,
existence, and then like
Pisces
it's
season is about exposure and it's about to happen again and it happened last Pisces season too, like at the end of right? It was like end the beginning of March.
Yeah, it was March because this all happened in March, right when I was 35 weeks, right before I had Kelly, right
Yeah,
before I had her.
yeah, it was a lot.
Could you imagine? I feel like this is something out of a Housewives show.
And what? Wait, say
I said I feel like this is something out of a Housewives show. Like this should have been on VH1.
and then it was crazy too because they had just been like we had just started recording for the podcast, so it's almost like that shit happened, and then it was like other things came with it, like the routine that you had like changed because of this thing you discovered. Anthony wasn't in the household
Yeah,
anymore, and
it was a lot. Yeah, it was so much. Like I think I was just like mentally drained and physically drained, and then it was a lot. Yeah, my brain was just like not. It was not there. I was not coherent at all.
no, like, can I tell you, like, low key, I was kind of like scared because I'm like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and like, one of the podcasts that I listen to, this bitch always has to mention a murder story. like, like, she's always
Is she the one
mentioning.
that does her makeup and then she talks about like murder cases
No,
from?
this is Heather McDonald. So, like, the one that me and Luis
Oh
always
yeah, 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 yeah.
podcast. So she's from California, so there's always like little town murders or like just like there's always some shit happening in Hollywood, obviously, but like in California, like there's always like a kidnapping, like a mom faking her kidnapping,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
a boyfriend reporting his wife or his girlfriend, like, and then a few months later to find out he killed her. So like I don't know, like I just start freaking out, like Lenée, are you okay? Blah blah blah. That's also another reason why I always out because you never know if the person knows about planning to kill you. Like you just
I
never know.
I think I'm okay. I don't think anyone's gonna try and come kill me, but I
Hopefully,
mean,
but
if that's in God's plan, then who are we to
no.
stand in the way?
Or like, what if she kills Anthony and Al-Qaeda don't got a dad?
I will say though, I kind
Or
of felt
you got
bad.
him up and fucking kill Anthony and I gotta fly to Sacramento and help you.
Oh my gosh, I'm dead.
No, you just never know. Bitch, I was worried about you. I was so worried.
Hold
And
on,
it's just a lot.
it was a lot for sure. I don't even know how I made it through it, and I don't even know how I still like. I think right now is like the time that I've actually been processing. Believe it or not, so I've been in a really weird place
Mhm.
in the last couple weeks. So, but I'm still really optimistic.
But what are you optimistic about? I'm crying. You're laughing.
Like getting life back, like jumping back into just everything because I hate that, like, what I did was, okay, remember when I told you about Style Hall? When I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I remember why I stopped filming, because I was signed to Style Hall and then they were not like letting me go for my contract. And remember, I told you I looked them up, and it just so happens that the chairman was like embezzling money from the company and they went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Um,
He was the Anna Delvey.
yeah, for sure. So I just
I
feel
love Anna
like,
Delvey.
do you? She kind of got on my nerves a little bit, but I do want to meet the real one. Wouldn't that be cool to like interview
The
her?
real one is wearing her ankle bracelet in Brooklyn, throwing curated art parties.
Didn't she go? Didn't she have a baby?
No. No, that's Julia Fox, her friend that has a baby. She doesn't have a baby.
Okay, I don't know why I was thinking she had a baby. I'm on my laptop right now. I was just looking at a couple things, but so I like whenever I look at the timeline of just like life in general, and like when big things have happened in my life, like big transitions, like having Jace, moving, becoming a single mom, and then moving back to California, like all those things. Every single time, like I start to catch momentum, and I'm like working with companies, or like now I'm working with a manager. Now I'm doing this. Something always happens. So I feel like I need to like stay on this like drive and momentum. Otherwise, like I'll end up losing it. So that's what I'm optimistic about. I'm
Yeah.
optimistic about just remember I was telling you like when I was at the gym last night, I was like, okay, I need to just figure this out. And it's a little confusing sometimes because I try to put all my eggs in like multiple baskets, and I feel like I need to just narrow it down to maybe like 2 baskets.
I'm crying.
So
Larry
it's
Basket.
because, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I can wear many different hats, but like I need to find the like top 2 that I'm good at, or that will
We're
stick,
good
or
at
that's,
everything. That's our issue. We're so good at everything that even like man can't handle us.
I know. So I just need to find some
Like,
clarity. But the fact that
Tina,
Pisces,
if you became a stripper, you would be fucking
oh,
amazing.
I would be amazing. I'd be the best one.
If
Okay.
you became fucking the new Daphne, you would be an amazing baby mama to 50. Let me stop.
Uh,
No, but I
um,
agree. I think you have, I mean, right now you're trying to get in the swing of things back. Callie is like such a mama's
yeah.
baby.
hmm
But yeah, I think
Um,
we miss Lenée.
I know. I miss me too. Because I look back at all that stuff that happened and I was like, ew, first of all, like I just have no words. Um, hold on. It's just like I can't,
But
okay, like remember when you had a big thing that happened to you and I was just like, oh my God, Jamie, I can't believe that happened to you. Like this happened to me before too. Like it's okay, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna make it out of the end of this. Like I think that like those things are big, and then I was just like, oh my God, like um yeah, it's so weird. It's so crazy. I don't know to
I
like
mean,
think of.
that was a lot. But the difference is that like it's just me. I don't have, you know what I mean? Like I don't have children. Like attachments that are healthy. So it's easy for me to navigate like how to like get myself out of it because the like like the mental state of like realizing oh my god my life just changed in
Yeah.
that moment 'cause you know something and now you have to figure out how you're going to deal about it or just when you get the realization like oh shit like things are not going to change unless I change them
Yeah.
so it's easier to navigate it that way as opposed to you that you had already Jace which used to be just always you and Jason and then you went to what you had to do. But now with baby Callie, like she wasn't even home yet. Like she wasn't even out yet. And then, like I said, your routine changed. So it was really confusing. And like, I get what you mean. Like now that you're processing it and you're in a different,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like you see how far you've come. And also, I feel like even like little things with Callie, like the issues with her skin and stuff like that, it's really kind of like I would imagine it's hard for you to navigate because it's like another layer of like fuck. You know what I mean? Like you do you know what I mean? Like it's almost like it's
Hmm.
hard to routine again, like how you were because of like the little health issues she's having, and then like her having little health issues
Yeah.
kind of like puts a damper on like figuring out your routine to get out there and film. But like even then, I feel like it should be filmed because there's so many moms that like go through that with their kids. But then, how are you gonna film? It's not like you have like Jason's old enough to like be like, "Mom, I'm your camera guy." Like,
I
you know,
know.
what are you supposed to do? Put a GoPro like in your forehead?
I know.
Baby, like it's hard.
It's rough.
And you are a poster. Like you're good at time and like doing content.
I know. I've been spending a lot of time researching, so that's what I've been doing now because times are changing, platforms are changing, everything's changing. So yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And then, oh, bitch, when I was going through like the little things that look what I'm doing while we're on the phone. My babe.
Are you blinging it right
Oh,
now? You're so funny.
so when I was going through like my little thing, like I was freaking out, bitch. I was going through like little mental breakdowns. I just
Yeah, yeah, because that was
and
like a
like
big thing.
I was like insomniac. Like I could like it was so weird because I was so stressed and annoyed. I could not focus on studying. Then like I got a bad grade in one of my tests and I went up to the professor like I just wanted to talk to her like you're kind of not going over like I don't know, this was the intro to finance class and she was just wasn't going over the equations that we needed to learn to get to the answer. This bitch, oh I swear she would talk about fucking Joe Rogan and like different companies, but she really wasn't getting to the nitty-gritty on how to get these equations, like whatever the fuck was intro to finance was not intro to finance. I felt like the bitch was like on a live podcast, right? So when the test came to like really do like the case scenarios of like what's the future value of network, like all this shit, I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on. I went up to her, she literally made me cry. She was like, well, all you do is take notes and like you actually have to do the work. And I kind of wanted to curse her out, like, bitch, are you even doing the work? And like I was just so overwhelmed with what was going on in my life that I started crying. And I wanted to drop out of class. Like I wanted to drop out of school and then like, no, I do this for me. Like I cannot let like this little situation, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember when
to
you were going
drop
back,
out.
and I was like, I don't know how you're doing it because I could never. I couldn't. Like I could not.
Really?
But
Even
like, good
I
for you. No, I
really
couldn't.
like
Not unless it
tell
was like a class for like if it was a full day or like maybe a couple week course to like complete something like a completion of like I don't know
like
injectables.
yeah, but you have to go to school for that one. You have to get like a
I
nursing,
know. I
like
know.
when you're interested, you're learning. Like for example, yesterday was my first day back, and it was one of the business is a business methods class, and I was really excited about it. And I told you I started arguing with the professor because now that I'm invested in this and real money's coming out of my pocket for me to get this, like come, like go to school and like get the accolade that I need. So I kind of like obviously everyone gets a shortcut through college, but like I'm paying money and you're telling me you've never like been a professor before, that you've only done seminars for like LinkedIn and like behavioral psychology and corporate. Like I get where what this is, but like this is some Victoria's Secret shit when they used to like teach us about mood elevators and like do onboardings. Like it's giving onboarding vibes. Like, why are you teaching? Like, are you a real business professor? Have you had a business? Then he promotes his podcast, Lenée, at in the class.
That
Like, I was like, is this really the future? Like, he has a
it
financial
is. It
podcast.
really is. It is. Remember we
Like,
were talking about that the other day? We were like, that's basically what everything is going to turn into. Just like the whole clout chasing thing, and like, gotta just get in where you fit in and find that, like, find your lane, like,
yeah. And I'm all for like doing things that you're passionate about. Like, obviously, he's a financial advisor. Maybe he wants to teach other people how to make their money work for them because that's where I see like, I don't know, a lot of it that he was mentioning case scenarios were about that. But like, Why can't you just stick to financial advising? I'm crying because I sound crazy, but it's true. Like, is there
No,
going to be a vlogger? Like, are we going to have doctors anymore? Like, how are we going to get our work done if everybody wants to be a podcaster, entertainer, sketch? Like, how are we going to get our work done? Like, we're going to have to learn how to do our own injectables.
yeah, I'm down with that. I'll do yours, you do mine.
I'm crying. But everybody's buying their own chickens because eggs are so expensive. So, like, chickens.
I know. I saw that. Remember, I told you the last time we spoke that in the bodegas, they're like, it's like $10 a carton.
That is
Or
crazy.
like was it like half a dozen or was it an actual dozen? I don't remember. But they were showing the prices of everything in the bodegas. And I was like, oh my God.
Well,
That's wild.
I went food shopping and I didn't see. All I saw was cartons of egg whites. You know when you could buy the egg,
You can just shake it up and cook it like that.
Yeah, and that's disgusting. I really started to think how I didn't eat eggs before I started low carb, and I don't think I want to go back to eating eggs unless I don't even know. This is how you know eggs are fake.
You have to
Like
get
if they
pasture
show,
raised.
I don't know. I feel
I've
like eggs
learned
are just fake.
they're a good source of like, so we could talk about nutrition all day. Like there's just so much
I
that like I've
know.
learned over the past couple of years.
I could talk about it all day and fantasize about being rich enough to grow my own shit and then still like have a fucked up chemical iced coffee. But I could talk about it because I think it's interesting how like now we're just really dying because of the chemicals in our food.
Yeah. Remember I told you that I was telling my doctor the other day when we were like doing my blood work that I was just like so scared because cancer is inevitable. I was like, it's in everything. Like it's in everything from head to toe, everything. The furniture we sit on, the clothes we put on, the things we clean our houses with, everything. You know, like when Jace was born, I didn't have to worry about like, oh, let me find a car seat that doesn't have flame retardant in it, or like let me find some playpens that don't contain chemicals, or like the clothes where they're not gonna, you know, it's crazy.
And I
It's
feel guilty
wild.
every time I order my whole shit from Shein. And I'm like, Mom, I ordered so much from Shein. And they're like, Mom, it
I
has less.
know. It's so bad. It's crazy. It's really, really bad. But I mean,
No, but that's consumerism. It's our fault. Like the thing is that we can't get away from it because like what are we gonna do? Are we gonna really like is there really enough money in the world for each household to be clean? You get what I mean? Like now it's just turned into a market. Like it's not a free for
mhm.
all. Like now it's like everything is synthetic. The real shit. And this is what happens over time in life as like survival of the fittest. Like now we're realizing that everything has had chemicals all this time in the United States primarily, and that the chemicals that we indulge in every day are illegal in other countries, and that's why like their mental health is better. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm. Uh-oh, you're frozen. Okay, no, you're not. You were.
can you hear me?
Mhm. Yeah, no. There's some real like problems out here in these streets other than the posts on New York Post.
Say that again. Wait, say that again.
I said there's some real life problems out here other than what we see on the New York Post.
No, there really is because I think about it all the time. Like I always tell Marlene, like, oh, like sometimes I go to nail salons and they treat me like shit because I don't get jobs. Like I do my own personal
Mhm.
ever since the pandemic, and then all I do is get pedicures, and then like the people at the nail salon like get mad at me or treat me different because I'm not getting gel on my toes, especially in
Yeah,
the summer. They want you to do gel, and like when I
because
did
they
do
want you to
gel,
spend. Yeah.
bitch, my hands would hurt a lot. Like my hands would sting. Like I just knew it
Mhm.
wasn't.
The
It's like
UV
mommy,
lamps. Do you ever feel how dry like your skin is after using one of those lamps?
and
It's,
then I never felt dryness, but I felt like tingly, like a sensation that it just I know
mhm.
it's not healthy. Like it would just hurt and like it would just I don't know, it's weird. And even with my phone, sometimes when it gets hot, I call it radiation burn. Like when you're on it and like just your hand,
Yeah.
your, you know what I mean? Like it feels like super hot. Like I can tell that's unhealthy. And then
Yeah.
my bones crack all the time, and I already have arthritis running in my family. Like, am I deteriorating?
Remember when you were at Apple and you were like, oh my God, being inside Apple for long periods of time, like I get a headache. And I'm like, yeah, it's all the radiation.
Yes, yo,
It's all
yes.
the devices.
It
Yeah.
wasn't just the radiation. My asthma started to act up. So because we're wearing the mask all the time, bitch. No, we were wearing the mask all the time. I had to wear the mask for like 9 hours.
Yeah.
And I already have asthma, so I'm inhaling all this CO2. Then like I'm standing up the whole time, which is fine. But then I'm like always iPhone surrounding me, like all the computers. Like I never got a break away from like blue light or radiation. The whole building was
I know.
it's like by radiation and Wi-Fi. It's fucking weird.
Okay, wait. So now, since we're talking about Apple, I want to tell you something that I had seen the other day. I think Jace was watching something, and it was probably like shorts on YouTube, and they were
Hmm.
saying how like they were talking about Adam and Eve and like how they took a bite out of the apple, and they were like, "Isn't it funny that now everyone owns a device with a bitten apple on the back?" I was like, "What?
Yeah. So
Did you ever see that?"
yeah. So I don't know if I could talk about this because we do sign NDAs when we.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah, maybe we'll have to go off the record because I don't want you to get, I don't want them to come for you.
no. So but I will say this that bitten apple thing comes from Isaac Newton, which a lot of the devices are called the Newton because so like Steve Jobs like was like looked up to Isaac Newton so much and he learned from him and like it's so weird because Steve Jobs, like I haven't seen the movie, but just what I learned from the company is just he just had like a mind out of this world and he was really smart and he just saw almost like a light outside of what we are. And this is what like how we see the metaverse develop. People of those things got
Mm-hmm.
to create the experience of what Apple is and it's growing. But it does have a lot of mythological meaning behind it.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to
Like
fill
that
me
apple,
in. Like when we're done, I need to know. I can't believe you
like
didn't tell me.
that apple did. And you want to know what's something crazy that I was debating whether to send this to my account executive or not. Somebody made a video supposedly about Charlotte being a witch. And like supposedly like she was exposing Charlotte as a witch, all this witchcraft shit. And like then another girl last night, which I'll send you the video because I saved it,
Oh my
she made a video
god.
how she fell inside a rabbit hole of Charlotte being a witch. And like now the girl that made the original video, she's missing and then she's wondering if Charlotte had it scraped. But I made a comment. I didn't say like I'm affiliated with the company, but I wrote Charlotte did grow up like from what I know, Charlotte did grow up in London, which is a very witchy like
Yeah,
country.
yeah, yeah.
And then she also grew up in Ibiza. So she actually speaks
Like,
perfect Spanish. She grew up around
mm,
and rock and roll. Like she is a very like spiritual person. And she did create the magic cream, which is called the magic cream, and it does one kid. So like I'm gonna sound crazy commenting this, but it's true. Like in her own right, she did create this magic and she formulated something like an alchemist. And like we buy it. Like you have to see the way these girls act, Lenée. When there's no product, like there's no colors filter, there's no like magic cream, there's no something like I get
so I have some of that stuff. She sent me some PR packages, and I only used the Charlotte Tilbury. So I have it's the cream, right, that comes in the glass jar. I only
Mhm.
used to use it on like people I did makeup on because there's fragrance in it. So like I didn't want to use it on
There
my
isn't, but
skin.
there is really fragrance in it. It's
There's a
literally
fragrance. Okay, so one of the products that I do have, I want to say one or maybe two of them. I looked them up and I saw that there was fragrance, and I was like, oh, it might have been the eye cream. There might have been like an eye. There was something, and so I never used it. And I was like, oh, I'll just keep this here in my kit for like when I, you
well,
know.
you have to double check where the fragrance comes from because, for example, like the oil has a fragrance, but it's really like lavender. Like the lavender extract that fragrance, but the magic cream is really the rose that gives it that fragrance. So
Hmm.
it's actually hypoallergenic. It's really amazing, but now there's a theory about Charlotte being a witch.
Hmm. I mean, you never know.
Like but I
I,
just it's funny because the media creates a story about everything and like if it does track then people eat it up, but is it truth
yeah.
or like I'm telling you the facts because I know it.
But, don't you ever wonder, though, that, like, everyone who makes it has to pay their dues somewhere? Right? Like, dues have to be paid.
No, I just feel like she is all right.
You've met her? You've worked with her? I'm just asking,
Um,
like, out of curiosity.
no, yeah, I've met, yeah, like she's done public appearances. So
Okay.
the last time I saw her was the week of Met Fashion Week. Like a lot of amazing things happened to me that day. Actually, that was the
Mm-hmm.
day um, that I saw. So wait, that was the day that I saw like Tariq and Braden. I'm saying their screen names from Power. Remember that I told you that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like Michael Rainey Jr. and Gianni Pialo from the show Power. I'm like, and I couldn't do anything about it. And like he was like, "Come here," and I was like, "Is he talking to me?" Like, and it's like, really, Charlotte. Like right now in this moment, you're telling me that like Charlotte, like somebody that I admire, like I love you. I work for your company is in the way of me meeting the most popular guys right now on TV that I'm like obsessed with. Like it was just real funny. But she is very magical. I don't know how to explain it. Just like her touch, she does wear a lot of rings. She is spiritual. Like she be mixing her own shit. Like all the products do have skincare in them and she takes her time formulating them. Ultimately a witch is kind of like somebody that mixes potions and stuff to make themselves beautiful or their life
Mm-hmm.
better. Like she's a good
Like
witch.
Hocus Pocus? Oh, I'm so dead.
She's like a good witch. Like I don't know why they make up like something about. I heard like they were villainizing it so much. So what are you saying that like Isaac Newton and like Steve Jobs are like the devil because there's a bit in apple?
Mm, no, they were just, well, I mean, it was kind of like a video geared towards
Is
like,
it the
people being
behavior?
so sucked in and being so far from like actual reality. And like, just it was one of those like type 5 videos where, I mean, I think there's a lot of truth to it. Everyone is so attached to these devices, right? Like, do you
Is it
remember when cell phones first came out? Like, we didn't live like this back in the day. Like, it's crazy how this new generation is like the sensitivity to everything and just like everything is a problem.
okay? Can I just say something? So you know in Beauty and the Beast
Hmm.
when she could see dad through the mirror.
Yeah.
Hello.
I can hear you.
So like remember she could see her dad through the mirror and like obviously about conspiracy TikTok all the time and conspiracy theories and like you see certain scriptures, certain images they have from ancient Egypt, how they used to have more advanced technology than us.
Hmm.
So what if once upon a time you could enchant a mirror with like Wi-Fi, which was also a phone, and that now that's the whole point that I'm trying to tell you.
I'm gonna
So
teleport.
by the way, are the conspiracy theorists coming up with fan fiction? So is somebody a fan of witchcraft and Charlotte Tilbury, or just a fan of the Garden of Eden and Apple? And now they're like mixing it together. Because now I can make up my own shit. Like, yo, remember when Belle used to look in the mirror?
I mean, but you really have to think about it though, honestly.
You
Like,
do. You really do.
and I guess you have to make, the right decision for you, whatever makes sense to you.
Okay, so Jay-Z and Beyonce. What like the conspiracy theories about Jay-Z and Beyonce?
Yeah, yeah. I
Or
think that I think they're smart though because they stay out of the limelight a lot, right? Don't you think so? Like, you never catch them like stirring anything up or like
no,
responding to anything or.
like it's very low key and like it's almost like at this point it almost seems as if the same way the Kardashians pay the media to keep them relevant and they spend so much money controlling their narrative. I feel like are Jay-Z and Beyonce paying off people to leave them alone to control their narrative?
Mm,
Because there's all these videos on TikTok, they're so crazy. It's like Beyonce's real husband. Like, people have created this.
You know what? It's not far-fetched though. Like, I really don't think that anything's possible.
And then that
Honestly.
show on Netflix came out called "Are You the One" or something, where like they're faking to be together. They but really they're like he's gay and like she
Yeah. And they're
like
like slipping up saying that like, oh, we've
yeah
been together for X amount of years, or we met over. How long have you
yeah
guys been together?
it's so crazy, like the theories that people come up with, and they're so good, and like but is it like that really? Have you ever been a victim of a rumor about yourself?
A victim of what?
A rumor about yourself that wasn't true?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because rumors are like conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Like that's like the conspiracy turns into a rumor.
Yeah.
Now are people gonna start asking me, is Charlie really the witch? Like, is it
I know.
true? Like, I don't know.
Are you her protege? Are you practicing underneath her? What's your secret? No wonder your skin's been looking so good. Did you hear what I said?
No, say it again.
I said, no wonder your skin has been looking so good. Are you her protege?
No, but like I don't know why my eye keeps bleeding. Like, what keeps happening? I mean, not bleeding.
Oh, it's watering. Maybe it's your glue.
I think
Your
it is
lash
my
glue. Mm-hmm.
I love Charlotte. I don't think she's like a bad. I don't know. This rumor is weird. Like, what if she put it out there about herself? I don't know.
I mean, remember, all publicity is good publicity, I guess.
So, what do you think is Apple and the bit like?
I think it just has to do with like everyone being stuck to their phones. It's really like, you know how everyone's always like, put your phone down, put your phone down, put your phone down. And I think that there's a lot of truth to it. It's just, it's something that has caused.
So then technology represents temptation then? Wouldn't that
Yeah. It represents a lot of things, girl. I mean, it's definitely a double-edged sword, right? Don't you think?
So are you thinking of this because you're Christian, right?
No, I'm nothing. I'm a heathen.
Okay. Well, no, but like a Christian, like that is like a Christian, like that's like a biblical story, is what I'm asking. So like,
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I was raised so like we Catholic, but then like we were never really like super religious. Like my brother went to an all boys school. He went to Jesuit, which is like an all
wait,
boys
I'm losing
Catholic
you,
school.
Mom. What? Say that again.
Oh, can you hear me? You froze for a second.
Yeah.
No, we're not like super religious. So like I used to go to church when I was little, like and my brother went to an all boys Catholic school, which sounds like we would be super religious, right? But like it was just a really good school, and you know, he got in, and my little sisters went to Catholic school for a little bit. Like they went to St. John's, and but like it's it's not something that I like practice or preach, or like I was never like forced into it, like or to like keep going with it, or you know, like my dad came from Hong Kong, so he wasn't super religious. And then my mom was raised Catholic, but like she's not even like she doesn't practice it or anything, and she hates Catholic church. Oh, that's so cute. That's so bad for you though, Jamie.
I know. Okay,
Maybe
so
that's why your back's up.
maybe that's why my heart's beeping. I mean, yeah, beeping.
Yeah, maybe that's why
I'm
you have
gonna need a heartbeat.
anxiety.
I don't think so. Okay, well, so the reason why I say that is because remember, Steve Jobs thought of this as like his magic and like how it was gonna help the world. But really, is it like of the world, like straying us away from humanity and like bringing us to AI?
Oh, it's distracting for sure. I think that it's distracting, and it's keeping people from like really knowing or finding their purpose, or like really pursuing what they need to pursue, because it's very distracting, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and
It's a huge distraction.
it's
And
also
it's
like a
mental
for.
health.
I mean, the seven deadly sins is seven deadly sins, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also like an outlet and a portal into following the seven deadly sins. So it's really crazy. Lenée, look at you. You're like an alchemist. I mean, not an alchemist. You're like a prophet.
You know, what's
We're
funny is
philosophers now.
I know. I feel like we need separate, like, because, on the Vainglorious pod, it's very much like, being vain and like being into beauty and like all the things that, girls just do when they want to be like super high maintenance and extra. But then, like, also, we're really smart. Like,
Oh my God, I'm so smart.
do you think that? Yeah, no, I will say too, like, when I first met you, I did not think that we were going to be like this much alike. Not like in a bad way. I just didn't think that, like,
Then you're like, oh my God, this girl from the bra.
yeah, well, yeah, I was kind of judging you.
But wait, I have a question. Who did you? Okay, this is like the real last question. Who did you meet from the Bronx that like you were just like, all right, like there had to be okay, because I'll tell you, there had to be
You
a
know,
group of girls that
yeah,
you met that were from the Bronx that obviously I know this type of girls because I know all types of fucking like you could put me in any borough and I already know. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
like this is who I'm dealing with today. Like
It's
even
because you reminded me of like the girls I used to work with in like the clubs, and like a lot of them are not very smart. They're very driven, like, to one thing and one thing only, and like they just have no brain. Like, it's just, but it's not their fault.
it's not. It's not their fault. It's
It's
not their fault.
But so when we met, and I think just like under the circumstances that we met under, like when you and Virginia were like going at it, I was like, oh,
Oh no, but that was
remember?
really me standing up for myself.
Yeah.
Well, that's just an example of Virginia treating me the way that she perceives me as the same way that you might have perceived me.
Hmm.
You get what I mean? Like she thought that
You
she
can leave the coffees. Thank you. Sorry.
I feel like she was treating me a certain way just
Hmm.
because like maybe that I don't know if she never from the Bronx. I don't even know. But I just know that she would make comments like white passing and
Oh yeah. Do you
she
want to know what
wasn't
she said? Um, you want to know what she said to me one time?
what?
Um, hold on. I'm texting. I'm
But yeah,
texting on my
she was
laptop.
sorry.
So one day I came in and like I had my nails done, and she was like, oh my gosh, your nails are so long. Like, you got them so long. And I was like, yeah, I go through my phases. Like, I like them long and short, medium, whatever. And she was like, um, it's a little trashy though, don't you think? Like, girl, like she's like, long nails look a little trashy on some people. She made a comment along those lines, like, oh, but don't worry, like, I like yours. And I was kind of like, and I think I just had like long ombre. I want to say they were just like,
I remember the nails. It's when you
yeah.
used to do your own nails and you would do like the transition ombre
And I
French,
was
right?
like, I cannot believe she just said that to me. But then she kind of just like dug herself in a hole, because then she was like, like the ones that still get them old school and they're like long and they're square. And she's like, what's that shape, or what's that shape called that you have? And she was like, yeah, like the almond nails are a little bit more classier. Like, she was just trying to like dig herself out of like the comment that she had just made to me. And I was like, but yeah,
Well,
she'd be out of pocket a little bit.
well, no, she was out of pocket a lot of it because it wasn't just racism; it was also treatment. Like when she told Chris to go to the bathroom on his break,
Hmm.
like that was rude. Like that was disgusting. So
I
remember
remember
the day that
that.
I was standing up for myself because she wanted me to go to the bathroom on my break.
Hmm.
Like, you're kidding? Like, I know that, like, you being you, if you would have been in my position, you would have like, now you're acting funky because I'm like sitting at the back of here, like low key, like not bothering
Yeah,
anybody. It is my break. It is freaking cold. Like, it was New York. It was maybe like 27
it
degrees
was
outside.
snowing. Yeah,
It
it
was
was like
bad.
snow. It was the fall. It was winter. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
winter.
It was weird because it's almost like every business in that neighborhood was like community. So it was almost like my only option was to go next door and buy a salad. And I remember that day it was kind of like one of those, like, I just didn't want to, like, it was just like one of those days, I don't want to go. Even if I did go there, like, did I want to sit there? Was there going to be a seat? And then she treated me so, and she spoke to me crazy. Of course, I had to stand up for myself. And
Yeah,
then, like little by little, you started seeing like, okay, she wasn't the problem. Like she had a reason to, and like it was just a lot. But like for
Yeah.
you to say that, it just validated she would treat certain people like she knew I was Puerto Rican and she knew I was from the Bronx, and like she knew I was smart, and that's what used to bother her. Like
Because she couldn't
remember,
control you. Yeah.
yeah, and it was just weird. Like she expected me to eat all that up, and then even other people in the company were like, "Oh, she's just like that. Just don't worry." And I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean? Don't worry. Like she's treating me crazy. Like she treats people crazy. She's really evil. How is it that her job?" But yeah, I am really smart, and
Yeah.
I think
You
that's
are.
hilarious.
The more we started hanging out and we just like clinged to each other, it was like, oh, we're a lot alike in a lot of ways. Just like
Yeah,
with, like food, diet, like conspiracies that we like, are like,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah, like we were pretty woke, and it wasn't even fake woke. Like, oh, these words, like pronouns and all this, like the new
Yeah.
woke. Like it was like real woke. Like, don't you think the government control us this way? Like, isn't this like it was really um crazy
And it
for
would come up so organically too. I felt like it
me.
wasn't like,
Religion too a little bit.
hmm
Like, because me, the reason why I don't eat meat is like it has something to do with religion, but also it does have to do with like all the shit they put in meat. Like I started feeling like, how the fuck they get so many chickens? Cows?
oh
Like,
my gosh. Speaking of me, I just saw a post on Instagram, like I think it was yesterday, where they're actually gonna start making meat. Like, so there's gonna be a machine where they can like create meat, and they can like adjust the fat and like the cut, and it's so weird. I'm gonna have to send it to you. I was like, no way! Like they're gonna
but
make
what?
it from this machine, and it's not like it's not real. It's gonna be like basically like lab made cuts of meat.
Like a 3D printer. But
Yes.
they've also been saying that's been happening because that's what they say. They say that people, and you've ever seen like apparently the shrimp from like the Chinese place in the hood is really not shrimp. Or like the rice, supposedly that rice is plastic. Have you ever seen those theories?
Well, yeah.
Remember
They
they, like
apparently rice is because it's processed so much that it typically is. I guess that's what they say. Um, rice is that it sits in our body and it's just plastic. Isn't that
yeah,
crazy?
shrimp supposedly they're like really agile, that they go through a process and they print them out. Like they just stamp fake veins. Like there's so many theories that now shit like this is like, oh, so the shit from back in the day was real. That email from China we used to get. Remember, sometimes you would download like a video or a song on LimeWire, and it would be
Hmm.
a posing fake shit like made in a
Yeah,
like, or like them killing rats, making like Chinese food, like, and we're like, are we eating that?
I
Because
know.
across the country, they
Now I feel like I need to do a cleanse.
I know. I know. I do lo mein. So is lo mein printed like plastic and like softened? Like
I think it just really depends on like where you're getting it from, because some businesses are really like they put themselves out there, like they use the best quality this and that, and like ethically like sourced. I don't know what to trust these days. I
there's
feel
no
like
such thing as ethically sourced when you
I
start making money. There's
yeah,
no
I
such
feel like if you don't like have your own garden and raise your own, animals, then you'll never
yeah.
know.
There's no
Nobody's gonna
ethically
know.
there's no ethically anything, and even when it is, it's really not. So for example, like some makeup brands really do start off clean.
But then if once they get so busy, there's just only so much you can do to mass
Yeah.
produce,
Yeah.
really.
Or
Hmm.
sell because they control your growth.
See how smart we are? We're so smart. I feel like Elwoods.
Um, but I feel like you should talk about it in a positive way where you're snobs about it, because I feel like even if you do educate people on like a bunch of things or talk about it, you're enlightening them, and then people can make their own research, and then you can
Yeah.
pick your poison. I pick my poison. I'm not sitting here saying like I don't eat Doritos that have like the worst chemicals. I really fucking do. But then there's trade-offs that we do. Like I don't
Working
know, like
out, getting sleep,
yeah,
going for walks,
yeah, like I'm still
drinking
conscious. I don't drink
ballerina
juice.
tea.
Yeah, like Lewis, he's like obsessed with Diet Coke right now.
Oh, so bad.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, tell him to stop drinking it. Tell him to drink it like once a month if he really loves it.
Wait, you're freezing. Hold on. Mom, you're freezing.
Am I still? I said you should tell him to only have it like once a month. It's so bad for you.
Wait, you're frozen.
I'm frozen still?
Hold
on.
Yeah, you're frozen. Okay, now you're good. Now you're